Create and work with your Dream 100. So the goal of this workshop is to discover who your Dream 100 are and how you can work with them. So here's what we will cover: what the Dream 100 list is, how you can set out to create your Dream 100, and once you know who's in your Dream 100, how you can use that to get more sales leads. It's a consistent challenge getting your products in front of people who might one day want to buy from you. So one way to make this significantly easier is to build and target what's called your Dream 100. So what is the Dream 100? So there are a few commonly used ways to get new people to find you and what you are selling. So my strategy always focuses around social media, as it's been a highly effective way to target customers and get consistent sales. But you can take a different approach to generating traffic to your site and get people interested in what you've got to offer for free. So your Dream 100 is a list of 100 people who can help you to promote your product or service. So people who, if they were to put your stuff in front of their audience, could generate you a huge number of sales. So having this list gives you a starting point for creating a marketing strategy that will blow any previous attempts out of the water. But before we look at how to use your list, you have to know how to put your Dream 100 together. So who's on your Dream 100 list is going to depend on what it is you're selling. If you're selling protein shakes, you're going to be interested in fitness bloggers and influencers, people with diet and exercise podcasts, and people selling workout gear. If you're writing plays, your Dream 100 list will look totally different. So you might target directors, actors, and theatre producers, for example. So you need to come up with your Dream 100. So figuring out who those people are that have got a wide audience already that you could reach out to get them to promote your product or service. There are a few things to bear in mind regardless of your industry. So these relationships will be more productive and easier to maintain if these are people and brands whose values align with yours. So you might also want to pick people who, while working in the same area, aren't going to be in direct competition with you. If you're selling high quality personalized notebooks, you want your Dream 100 list to be made up of people who love notebooks, who sell pens, who review stationery for their audiences, but not other people who also sell notebooks. It's a good idea to split your Dream 100 list into different segments, for example, email list owners, bloggers, podcasters, social media influencers. Then start searching and start listing people who are doing cool stuff in your area you're selling in or about to be selling in. So people with large audiences, people providing real value. So write them all down. You can find so many of these people on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, people who are in the same or similar sort of niche that are demanding authority in what they are doing at the moment, and people are following them. You might end up with more than 100 on your list in the end, and your Dream 100 list is likely to grow as you come across more interesting people, but that's no bad thing. But once you've got your first 100, it's time to move on to phase 2. So lay the groundwork. You need to follow, friend, and subscribe to these people, whatever they are doing, their work. Wherever that could be YouTube, it could be on Facebook, on Instagram, just follow them and become engaged with them. It's also a good idea to buy their products if they're selling anything. So read their blog posts and their email newsletters, listen to their podcasts, attend their webinars. You need to really understand what they are on about so that if or when you get the chance to approach them, you're prepared. It's also important to contribute where you can. So make insightful comments and ask questions. Share the things that they're doing and making with your audience that they start to see your name around and see that you're interested in what they're doing. So all of this is so important when it comes to making an approach and asking somebody to promote something of yours. Another thing you can do is work out how you can provide value to them. Reciprocity. So reciprocity is one of the cornerstones of human interaction. And if you do something good for somebody, they're far more likely to want to do something for you in return. So think about whether you can provide something useful to the people on your Dream 100 list. Can you offer them a sample of your product or a free place on your course? So if you can't or can, but just want another option as well, think of ways you can offer your Dream 100 a platform. So when I think about targeting people who would be my Dream 100, I'm not looking for the people who are, A-list celebrities to start promoting my products. They're for me far out of my reach. But what I am doing is looking at people who have got a large audience. That might be 20,000 people, it might be 50, it might be 100,000 people, but who've got a substantial following, already getting a lot of engagement, more than what you're doing, and are a few steps ahead of you, but not in direct competition with you. This is where podcasts are particularly great. So if you invite somebody onto your podcast, you're offering them a platform to promote their services. So people love to talk about themselves. People love to tell people what's going on. Can I interview you? You might do an interview. That might be your way of kind of getting your first interaction with them. Before then you ask for something in return. It's that reciprocity. Podcasts, YouTube channels, and guest blog posts can all be ways to offer a platform to somebody on your list, making them more inclined to not only talk to you, but potentially offer you something in return. So you could simply create a podcast and interview your Dream 100 people on your list. Promotion. So once you've established some sort of relationship with your Dream 100, even if at this point it's mostly you reading everything they write, it's time to start thinking about how you can get your product or service in front of all these new audiences. So one way, perhaps the most obvious, is to ask your Dream 100 to promote you and your brand. The best way to do this is similar to our previous step. You need to focus on giving them something cool. So if you can provide them with something that they can get excited about, they're far more likely to pass this excitement on to their audience. That's part of why they're on your Dream 100 list in the first place. But a consistent approach can help. It's likely to be hard to get the attention of the people on your Dream 100 list. They're busy. So our strategy is to send the people on your Dream 100 list your products or branded goods that might be inclined to share with their own followers. Could just be really something straightforward. Even if you've got a service-based business, you can just be really imaginative and start to think of ways that you can grab their attention. So you're not only engaging with their posts, you might send them something in the post, you might look to interview them and give them a platform. There might be other various ideas that you can come up with. So if you can make your packages stand out in some way, they become more likely drawn to the attention of the person you want to be talking to. So, but don't get disheartened. Not everyone on your list is going to promote you, but persevere. And also, not everybody on your list is going to reply to your comments if you ask questions. But what you're actually doing is you're becoming more obvious to them, and you're putting yourself a little bit more in the limelight to them. So some people have a policy of no promoting others, or it might just not be possible to get in touch and ask. So the most in-demand people on your Dream 100 list will likely have a whole host of people you have to get past, or even have a conversation with them because of the sheer number of requests they get for exactly this kind of help on a weekly or daily basis. So you don't need to resign yourself to making weekly calls to people who you're never actually going to be able to speak to. So that's why I say don't try and target the A-list celebrities. Don't even try and promote the top influencers who you may feel get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of requests a day. But there might be somebody in your niche and who does a lot of talks, a lot of promotion, and has got a really just great network. They're really great social people that you can get involved with. Your Dream 100 is personal to you. So sharing with social media. So for these people on your list, you can use their social media audiences to put your stuff in front of more people who might find it useful or interesting. So come up with giveaways to target fans of those people and build your list that way. So becoming an active part of the communities of people in your Dream 100 not only gives you more exposure to their ideas, giving you more information to work with as you develop your brand, it also puts you in contact with their audience. You can't show up on the Facebook page of somebody in your Dream 100, start talking about yourself and what you do and expect anybody there to care. So to leverage this audience intelligently, you need to think about how you can provide value to this group while honoring the fact that they don't know anything about you yet. So part of this goes back to our point about laying the groundwork. If you become known about the place for interesting comments and sharing their enthusiasm, they'll be that much more likely to trust that you might have something interesting to say in your own right. Contests. You can run contests that target the kind of people you want to later be able to market to. For example, giving away merchandise you bought from someone in your Dream 100 list, which is a really great way and a really great way to kind of put a spin on it too. So anybody who comes to you to sign up for the giveaway is now on your list too, and you can start to build a relationship based on what you can offer to that person. So for example, if I was to target somebody, I wanted to target the audience of Tony Robbins. Now, Tony Robbins is huge and probably wouldn't be on my Dream 100 list. But just as an example, and for argument's sake, if it was Tony Robbins, and Tony Robbins got lots of fans, and I wanted to promote something like what Tony Robbins offers, maybe some merchandise or something like that, with permission, then I can go ahead and do that. And the people who are interested in Tony Robbins, those are going to be the people who are going to opt into my contest. So I'm going to build an email list up that way. So I'm kind of utilizing my Dream 100 people to try and gain followers for myself. So find your in. One last tip for you: if you can get one person from your Dream 100 to get on board with what you're doing, that can be your in to the rest of the list. So perseverance is key. Keep going. Don't give up. This element of social endorsement can make all the difference, lending you immediate credibility when you reach out to put other people on your list. So for example, going back to the podcast idea, if you manage to get one person to come and do podcasts with you that other people may be aware of, then when you ask somebody else and you can say, I've just recently done a podcast, and you can name drop, they're more likely to come on board. The idea of targeting 100 people to market your product or service might sound incredibly daunting, and I get that. So don't think about it that way. You don't need to worry about getting everybody to say yes when you first set out targeting your Dream 100. If you can get one person in, if you can start building a strong relationship with just one person from your Dream 100, the rest will follow in time. So your homework, it's time to do some research. Come up with at least the first 30 people for your own Dream 100.